we call this a capitulation. Cancel all orders. Even Kramer doesn't know what to think. They're going to probably halt trading. We told you that we didn't want to see you get hooked. And you may be hooked. Look at that. Look at it.
Good evening, stock traders, and welcome to Stock Traders Talk Radio here on a beautiful Sunday night, April 22nd, 2012. I am your host, STT. Joining me on tonight's program, I have Stock Sumo.
What's up, STT? Good evening.
How are you tonight, sir?
Oh, man, I'm doing awesome. Still in Memphis, Tennessee. Bear with me. My headset might be a little crackly. I've been having some problems with it while I'm on the road. I don't have the same setup as I do at home.
Okay. All right. Also joining us on the program tonight, we have Mr. Cup.
Hey, what's going on, gentlemen? How are you?
I am good, sir. How about yourself?
Doing great. You
looking forward to tonight's special show?
Yeah, of course. You're hooking me up. I love it.
Did I give you too much work to do?
No, it's never too much. Maybe not enough time to do it in, but, you know.
Well,
it is.
Hey, you know, time is time and money is money, and whatever you said the other night made no sense either, so I might as well talk language that nobody understands either.
Nice.
So, anyway, tonight, we are missing, unfortunately, our star. That's right. Our star is missing tonight. I don't know where he is. I haven't heard from him. Hopefully everything's okay. But unfortunately, at this time in the show, I do not have a host called Sifakia. And unfortunately, Mr. Sifakia has the only setup available to us for our live chart readings that we were going to do tonight and beta test and see how they worked out.
We were going to do that with 10 tickers?
10 tickers, yes, sir. Had it all set up and ready to fire.
You are out of your mind.
Had it all set up, ready to go. But unfortunately, since he is not here at this time, we will not be able to do that portion of the show. So, why don't we just move on in and get started. Stock Sumo will be doing our charts for us tonight. Mr. Sumo, thank you very much for showing up. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Later in the show, we have a special guest that will be covering one ticker and one ticker only. But we'll do that later in the show. Now, let's get started with our list. Now, these are given to us. They were posted to us on our iHub board over the weekend. And we're going to start with ticker symbol NVLX.
All right, NVL. I guess I got to keep all of this under, 7 minutes, I assume?
Somewhere in that range, 7, 8 minutes.
Yeah, good luck with that.
No rush. Try to take your time.
Yeah, all right. Sounds great. All right, NVLX is Nuvalix Inc. Had a nice pop on Friday. Basically, it's a 0.064 stock. Had a volume of 1,922,000, up about 20%. A lot of good players on the board. Key thing I kind of want to talk about a bunch of things here is I'm just going to normally our DD will go through, we use Investors Hub for a lot of stuff, the iBox, those type of things, websites, OTCmarkets.com filings, and all of that. It will not be that extensive, I can assure you. However, I did do all that DD, so I'm just going to run through some of it. The key thing I want to take you to is the iBox. Basically, the information it has is pretty much a carbon copy of their website, and their website is it's Nuvalix.com, and that's spelled NUVILEX.com. And those of you that are kind of out there running the play, a couple telltale signs that I look for is I like consistency in certain things that the company's doing. So at the bottom of that website, it still says 2011, so I would definitely get that fixed from that aspect. The other key thing is, if you guys remember this one back in the day, this was the one that was done last year by Green Baron, and it had good volume and all of that. where it's normally traded and stuck around the 0.03 area. Now they got it up to the 0.06, which is what I would consider the top end of the area. But Sumo will go through the chart. And in essence, the company was founded in 1996. It was named E-Food Safety at that time, and then kind of transitioned a whole bunch of stuff. And eventually, as a result, later on they went into MedLife, and then their flagship products were Synergen and Senecol, and developmental products Citroxin and Aprofite. Metalite, on the other hand, owned Taslim, a product used for treatment of keloids, arrhythmia, and scar management. So there's a whole bunch of things that they got going on there. Pretty decent company when you look at when you start peeling back the onion of what's going on there. And so, what they are is, they could, if you look at their mission statement, if you will, vibrant, exciting, energized company with a strong legacy and development of products with a particular focus on natural components and biotechnology for humans, animal, and environmental health. In addition to Synergen, mentioned above, the line of natural products include sensational for reduction of detrimental alcohol effects. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that they're actually doing there from that aspect. Other key thing I like to do, I love looking at IRs. I think when you look at IRs and you start mapping a couple things in place there, you'll figure out some stuff. So their IR is Marlon Molinaro, which is Marmel Communications LLC, and they got that information on there. And if you remember, that was the same one with Fusion Consulting Group LLC, Investor Relations back in the day, or Redstone, if I remember correctly. Kind of give you a kind of how they work is, if you remember the stock MMBW, I'm not sure what the hell did they change that name to. Oh, PTCK, which is now PTCK, right? It will give you an idea of exactly how that stuff works. And PTCK, I mean, you're talking good companies, right? I mean, it was one that did a lot of alarm stuff, installation into like Travis Air Force Base, those type of places, and a lot of different things like that. So solid companies as far as what they're trying to do. And that was Protect Fire, now that I remember that. Now, there was a couple things that they did with this, and I think this is, if I had to give an evaluation, I would say this is a company that is trying to build an operation, trying to build products, and trying to go out into sales without fully understanding the awareness or IR side of the house. Meaning, I would, if by just connecting the dots, I would say a couple things were bouncing around a little bit. And when you go from Green Baron raises money. That's what they do. In the sense of how that works. There was another one where a big one is the Roof Group, which is they're big on the as far as the things that they do in really focusing the biotechnology and all that other stuff. So I'm not sure how to figure out all the different movements of the IRs and why they've been doing those type of things. But long story short, there's the snakes in the grass. I would say is definitely they have a big facility that they pay a lot of money on, and the bank that's associated with that, some big money that goes out. Definitely raising money for acquisition, no doubt about that. They have no choice with that. It looks like from when you go through and talk about the different things that they're doing with Australia, and I'm not going to go through every little piece of that with the PRs and everything. They still need to come up with some cash for that. So, when you look at companies you got to put yourself in their shoes, all right? I'm the CEO. I'm trying to make a company. I have my strategic objectives. I have my business plan. And, you're going into this area where you're doing the acquisition where yet you don't have huge revenues coming in. So your options are limited. And, frankly, shares are what you're going to issue for money. I mean, somehow, some way, you're going to leverage your stock from that aspect. So I just want to kind of point that out. The other thing is the market cap. This is one of those things. The market cap for this company is $23,964,000. Now the shares outstanding are 374 million as of March 20, 2012. The float's not available, and the authorized shares are not available. Now, just from the school of thumb, right? From a short term, and this is depending on your perspective as a trader. If you are a trader that pops around and you want to go from stock to stock, chances are this is not the play for you. If you are believing in the fundamental analysis of where this company is going to be and the mergers that they're going to do, or the acquisition rather, and how big that's going to impact from the cancer and from all the different things that they're doing, then it might be a longer term play from that. So from that perspective, that's pretty much where I'm at with that. I mean, I can go really deep into this one if you want, but the bottom line is they got some debt and they got a huge market cap that's not being matched with the earnings that they currently have. So for you longs out there that are believing in what they're getting ready to do, I mean, the cell encapsulation technology is absolutely phenomenal concept, and it just takes the catalyst to go. And I don't know if you guys know anything about how all this kind of stuff works. Basically, the encapsulated thing is your body fights this stuff. And what ends up happening is by the time it's able to do the thing it was intended to do, it's not able to. So a lot of different concepts from that standpoint. Let me give you one more. Okay, that's all right. Yeah, I already gave you the ProTech piece as far as matching up the different companies. Bear with me. I got like 10 screens going on here. No exaggeration. There's some really good DD on there. And what I would do is I would check with Rainmaker. Rainmaker's got some good stuff where he's talking about the different things about how the chemistry piece and all the different that they're actually doing. There's some DD regarding the SG Austria piece. I think Austria, I might have been wrong on that. It's Austria, and and how they're all PhDs. They all came up through the system and all that other type of stuff. But tremendous amount of good stuff that he actually has that he's posted on. But I firmly believe it's more longer term than a short term. So you'll have to evaluate that for yourself. What else for the home products? I gave you that. And essentially, let's jump to the chart real quick. You there, Sumo?
Sumo. Radio show live on air.
I'm here. But I'm gonna let Siffy take it away because he's back and
oh, nice.
we got the live stream going just for our listeners.
Wait. He showed up late and we couldn't test. Do the first one and then I'll work with him on the side to see if we can't get this going.
Yeah, bear with us, guys. This is a beta and it will be pretty good when it's full stream.
No problemo. I'm looking up the NVLX chart. I'm just going to take it back as far as November. Back then in November, the stock had a good base of support around 5 cents, had a sell-off, and saw its low in February. The low was 2 cents, and since then it's been rebounding and it had an uptrend. And in the beginning of March, the 20-day moving average came and crossed the 50-day moving average. And then in the middle of March, that 20-day kept climbing and crossed the 200-day. So that's a very nice chart set up there. The 50-day here recently just crossed over that 200-day. So that looks really nice. And it made a baseline here again at 5 cents. After the big run-up off of that low of 2 cents in February. It saw a high of 8.5, and then we've seen it consolidate, and now it's forming that base, and it's been bouncing off of the 200-day moving average, which is very nice. The RSI is at 60.55. It recently started climbing back up, bounced off of the 50 mark, so that's looking real strong. You got the PPO just getting ready to cross over. It's hooking up right now, and that's signaling a very bullish sign right there. So all in all, I really like this chart setup because you got the golden cross, that 50-day cross, and that 200-day. The stock's holding above that 200-day, and on just here on Friday, the stock made a nice little move on good volume.
Yeah, and this is the thing about when it comes to stock trading. When you got to really understand what the show's about to see how this works. Every trader in their type of trading they have to get their own perception of what we're saying here, okay? And what I mean by that is, if you look at the chart, it says everything that it is. But stocks are about supply and demand and don't necessarily match up to what it's supposed to be from a financial aspect. So if numerous people are buying this stock, whether they're making any earnings or not, then, okay, the stock's going to go up because people are buying it. And, sometimes there's a huge disconnect between that. And one thing I'd like to note is this company is a QB, and they spent a lot of time doing everything they could to get to the QB. It's just that there's a tremendous amount of focus on the stock, and that's unusual to me for a company of this magnitude. I mean, a $23 million market cap for a company that's not making anywhere even close to that should concern people. I mean, you invest based off of certain things. The other thing is their board is pretty good, and they had I can't remember her name. Work with me on this one. There's a lot of 8Ks and certain things that happened over the course of the last few months. Basically, they used to have a certain accounting company. It was M&K, CPAs. They're no longer the people. So they re-engaged a new one, which is Robinson Hill and Company, and also their CFO resigned right around the same time. So there is tons of stuff going on here at a time where financials and money and a lot of movements happening, of which would concern me if I was somebody in the stock. So I would definitely look at the pieces of that and kind of really drill down to those financials. But you're right, it is a good chart.
Fantastic. Okay. Now, I think we have Sifakia online. Sifakia, are you with us? Talk to me.
Yes, sir, I am.
Thank you.
My apologies, everybody. Had a little welcome home barbecue for my brother, and with all the excitement, I forgot that we're an hour early. So STT actually thought I was doing good and getting here an hour early to go over this little forget the show had already started. So my bad, my apologies.
No, that's awesome.
All right, so for the next ticker, we are beta testing. Siffy doing a live chart. Sumo just put the link in our Blog Talk chat room. For those that are listening on iHub, the link is stocktraderstalk.com/live-Siffy, CIFI. That is stocktraderstalk.com/live-Siffy, CIFI.
And for those of you they don't know what the dash is, it's not underscore, it's hyphen.
Right, it's a dash.
Oh man, that is awesome.
That look pretty good.
Awesome.
So we'll see how this all works out, and if you can read between the lines in the future, you'll know what we're doing.
People have no idea what's going to happen over the course of the next month.
All right, let's start with the next ticker because Cop took way too long on the first one.
Did I take long on that?
Way too long. Thank God I made it an hour-and-a-half show tonight. I thought ahead.
All right, good.
Outdid you.
Hit me.
Next.
All right.
We just did a stock spotlight on this one not too long ago, so you can do a full stock spotlight by going to stocktraderstalk.com and pulling up this video, PVSP. Let's do it.
All right, PVSP, Pervasip Corp. That was a really good one. That wasn't with the CEO. Who was that with? Mr. Martin? I think that's it. Richards or something like that. Richard Martin.
Was it an interview?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, because it was good stuff. It was all about the VoIP and all that other type of stuff.
Yep,
it
was
pretty good.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Now, and we never got them back on. The key thing that they were getting ready to do was that Vox powered solutions piece was with the app. All right, so I'm not going to go through the basics of all their DD. You can listen to the back show of all of that. The CEO is Paul Riss, chairman, and the share structure and those type of things. I do want to jump to that. So let me give you those pieces. All right, next screen popping up. Good stuff, huh? All right, Pervasip company information. Another QB. Currently the shares outstanding is 137 million as of March 14, 2012, and their authorized is 250 million. So they're definitely keeping it within a very tight range of exactly what they're doing, and a lot of good stuff that they had from that interview. Company out of where were they at? I don't remember, but that's okay. Sorry. What I want to turn to is this app, okay? So basically, Investors Hub, go to the DD. It's really easy. You go there. They do pretty good with the iBox on that board. A lot of them aren't so effective with that. But the Voix power to the cloud is what it is they even actually put it in the stickies that put the photo up there of it, right? Now, what is 60/60 is it's basically where you can do for 1 month free. They're going to allow you to download the app and be able to talk to 60 different countries. So via your Droid is one that they did for this one. So you can anticipate a whole bunch of things happening. But here's the impressive part about this is in a short period of time, people are downloading this thing like crazy. And the reviews that they actually have is a ton of them. I'd like to say maybe over 300 already, probably reviews. And I don't know the numbers of how many have actually been downloaded. The installs, if it's somewhere between 10,000 and 50,000 is what I believe it to be. But if you go to, go to the board, and then you can find it at google.com. It's Vox Mobile VoIP, Vox Communications. Has 336 reviews already, and all of them are off the charts good. Now, here's the thing with this, okay? They've waited a long time to get to the stage where this is the first step on really pulling in the revenue piece, because after the 30 days, and you charge for it and all those other type of things. Now, they also had recently, if I remember correctly, it was the 15th of March where the 10K came out. And due to my time, normally I would love to go through that entire thing. Bottom line is they have a lot of debt. There's no doubt about that. And they've put pretty much to get to this point of where they are, a large amount. So there's the banking system is that's actually associated with them, and the different owners, own a lot of different shares of a piece of that company, because that's how that works, of course, right? So what I consider this to be is a pivotal point in the juncture of the company. They get that Droid app running to where they're able to meet their payments, if you will, of what they got to do, and start paying back some of their stuff without having to, dilute, if you will, or raise the AS. I think you're there. And it's all going to be hinged over the course of the next month or so, really, is what I would consider to be a pivotal time for this company to get that out there, get more downloads, start pulling in the revenue. Let me rephrase that, 2 months, right? Because you got the 30, give them the 30 days to do what they got to do for the app. But if the reviews keep increasing and the amount of downloads keep increasing, and then they move on to, and if you guys remember correctly, he made it very clear that his goal was to concentrate solely on Droid, if I remember correctly, because the Apple side was was a lot of red tape, if you will, and they really believe they can pull a whole lot of stuff from this side. So look at it from that aspect. Keep driving the from there, and we're going to go ahead and roll the chart.
All right, charting with Sifikia. But he was going all over the place, so let him get back to his chart.
I should give him a little prompt on that, huh?
Well,
yeah, that's sweet.
He's going to stay on the chart from now on.
That is really nice.
He took us to iHub and then
Is everyone seeing this? How many people are watching this? Say that link again.
The link is stocktraderstalk.com/live-Sifi, CIFI.
So we're back on the chart. Beta testing, boys.
You should have left it alone. You had a big screen. Now you got a small screen.
Well, hold on. Don't get freaked out here. This is beta testing, right? It's the first day. I mean, how good could I be?
Oh, it's awesome.
So, work with me here, Mike.
You sure work
Check it out. Check it out. Look at that. You like your small screen? Coming back.
Nice.
No, showing all kinds of stuff here.
You don't want to listen.
There you go.
We're figuring it out.
I had to go over
I'll get
time.
better. How's that?
That's good.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the?
There you go. Now you're getting it.
Jeez, man. Okay.
There you go. Now stay like that.
Check it out.
Go.
Back in action.
Back in action. All right. PVSP. What a beast. we can see our classic tail of, we talk about this all the time. When you got your price per share crossing through that 20 and then crossing the 50 and then the 20 crossing through the 50 right behind it. And that's how you get the big old kabooms. And you can see that thing, when that happened, that thing ran all the way from that 0059 all the way up to 058. Somebody tell me 10-bagger. You can also see right here, you've got yourself a lot of resistance going on from the 0349 all the way across. You can see that's been a big ceiling. Draw a line on there. And you can draw a line down right below it here. And you can say that this thing's running in a little bit of a channel. And it's an ascending channel, but it's definitely in a channel. You can see that there. And that's punctuated by that 200 MA down there, that .021. And you got that 50 MA at .031. As for your RSI, I do like that it's above that, it's above that 50, and you can see you got a little bit of a positive divergence going on. And I know there's a little bit of delay on this chart, guys, so you might not see my drawing come up as fast as I'm talking. And I like that it's, like I said, above that 50, and it's holding. And we can go ahead and draw support off this November 005, and you can run that up, and you can, say the same thing, that you've got yourself a big wedge going on here. So I want to see a break above that 00345, and you can also see, you had that big volume spike there the other day, and then came right back with some selling pressure. So as for the chart, I like it, and I, like always, we always talk about is, we love when our moving averages are below us. At least then, you've got the support of your moving average, which is powerful. Let's go ahead and scroll down here just a hair and take a look at what's going on with our slow stow. And it's up at 84.41. So, one might say that that's overbought and ready for a sell-off. But you got to just play it accordingly. We all know how things can run overbought and oversold. So take that into consideration. As for that PPL, it looks like it wants to try to get up into that positive territory. So we're watching that. Like I said, watching that RSI, seeing if we can get above that 54. And I want to make sure that this slow stow doesn't drop below that 50. So let's get through this 50 MA and see if we can go up to the next level and possibly even, get a breakout going. That's kind of what I'm seeing, is it's either breakout or breakdown time. So whichever one comes first.
All right.
Nice. Very nice.
All right. I'm mesmerized watching all those lines being drawn. Did anybody see Sippy's post of my chart yesterday? Was that fabulous or what?
My most favorite chart year to date.
We were sitting here testing yesterday, and I decided I'll take over and do a chart, and that's how I chart. So be careful. A little strange. But, hey, I get the work done. All right. Fantastic job there, Sippy. Let's move on to the next one. Next one is, this is a familiar one. IC Places, ICTA, COP. Take it away.
Somebody asked for that one?
Yep.
IC Places has been just phenomenal. Friday closed 0.016, up 79.78% on a volume of 54 million. Tremendous amount of stuff going on there. As most people know, STT Radio is actually on IC Places. Each show gets loaded there, and got a lot of things going on. Steve Samlis is bringing the A game. That's all I can say. I mean, the guy's been beat up in the past and all that other stuff, but man, this guy just gets things done. I mean, it's pretty amazing what he's out there doing, and he's in a lot of different avenues of what's going on. What I want to do is I kind of want use the Investors Hub to talk about IC Places, a lot of different video stuff, a lot of shows, a lot of things that they do that are getting ready to go in so many different avenues. So the key things I want to focus on is I'm going to jump you to Facebook on this. Okay, the one thing about Steve is he is awesome at communicating via Facebook. And it's one of those things where he posts everything that's going on. Friday night they had the Shark Tank thing, and I'll go to that in a minute of why that potentially is a big deal, as well as a lot of different things that are happening from the markets that he can reach. This guy has the ability to reach over 100 million people. That is extremely powerful. I don't care if he was selling ice cubes to Eskimos. You reach that many people, you're going to make sales of some form. The advertising niche that he is concentrating on and the product placement is pretty ingenious, and he's got the people there to be able to support that. Now, what I do want to note, okay, is I kind of want to talk about the Shark Tank thing on Friday night. You guys will know that show. Basically, people that are that have a company or a concept or an idea come in there with Mark Cuban and all those guys, and they pitch their company and they go for a certain amount. All right, and the one that actually went in there, it wasn't IC Places. Okay, it was EasyVIP.com. Now that's if you guys don't know who that is, it's Al Nelson, and I'll give you a couple little tidbits with this. All right, so you want. Right thing to do is watch it. Maybe some people probably expected IC Places to come up. He did mention a website. The concept is basically Easy VIP is a place to where all the elite clubs that you can go to their website or their company, and you can plan for a night out in the top spots instead of waiting out in line or never getting in. Now you pay, you might pay $1,500 to $10,000 for that table, your champagne, everything, very luxury, high-end type stuff, to where even on the show, Mark Cuban talked about how much he spent on champagne and different things, and they were mesmerized with this. On the show, they ended up kind of arguing between each other a little bit because they all wanted to invest in it. Essentially, what ended up happening is Mark Cuban and another invested $150,000 each and ended up settling on, I believe it was either 25 or 30% ownership of the company, and to bring an A-listing to that, like Pitbull or somebody like that. Big stars, A-listers. Now, what does that have to do with IC Places? Well, the irony to it is potentially the tie-in, which, I haven't seen all the confirmation and those type of things, but the speculation is that Easy VIP, because it's going to broaden to, Vegas, to Los Angeles, New York, all those other places, where IC Places already has penetrated the market, by utilizing the websites and certain things that they have, there's a lot of different synergies that can be accomplished by that. Now, the one thing I would like to note beyond that is Al Nelson. You can go use Twitter, Facebook, any of those type of stuff. You can find all that out, and you can actually go to their website as well and show you. I actually went in. I wanted to get a table all the way until it was ready to pay. I did the whole thing to see how effective it was, and it's pretty good stuff. At all the top clubs. Now, the thing about Al Nelson is he's starting to get very connected, especially in the Miami industry. Now, if you go to his Twitter, which is I am Al Nelson, and you'll be able to see all the stuff on the website and all that stuff. He follows 30 people, and of those 30 people, they pretty much follow him back. And I'm talking like Mark Cuban, Rihanna, right? Big stars, those type of things. And has a tremendous amount of people that are actually following him and as well as the company. What I would like to see is him follow IC Places. I didn't see that in that, but IC Places does follow him. That's what I want to see. I want them to be number 31, and that little itty-bitty indicator changes things for me drastically. That's what I'm looking forward to go from the speculation to the right to speculation to the left a little bit. So I would, really like to see that. But a lot of great things that they're doing, and, when it comes to the airports and the commercials and the certain advertising that they can do and the market they can reach, I have no idea where this stock can go. So let's go shift over to a little bit of technical analysis and do the chart.
All right. The chart is looking like a beast, and 0008. Unbelievable. Whoever caught that, loving life. One thing we can see here, we keep talking about how things are trading within a range, and you can see on this one, the range was from that 006 to 007, and basically all the way down to that 1. Sorry, my computer's a little slow. I'm going to have to get a little bit of an upgrade here, I think, STT. And we can go ahead and draw this line here. Check this out, guys. This is always fun to do. You can go back to that November swing low, place a line on it, and then you can run it up. And you can kind of place it on the other swing highs, and you can see, we did this the other day, and you can see it, the projection, just by placing those lines. You could have done that all the way back in February and let that line drop, and you can see it's gone all the way up there. Now, one thing I want to point out, we always talk about it, is there it is, and we've talked about this a lot, is when this thing crossed through the 20, all right, this is something I love. And then when you have that 20 cross through that 50, all right, and then you had a nice little consolidation here, one thing I do like about this is you got all these supports, and you've got that 20 crossing through that 50 one more time there. So looking strong. I don't like the wick on the pullback there when you hit that 200 MA. You got a lot of resistance there on that 200 MA at that 0.0206. So we want to see it get through that. We've seen a lot of tickers do it. Not saying it can't. As for your RSI, you're definitely up in that power zone, oversold zone, whatever you want to call it, 83.41. Want to see that hold up there. And as for your PPO, that's looking strong. You got the histogram and the lines going up positive, heading north. And you also got that slow sell up at that 81.17. So I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see this thing pull back. You do got some gaps. You got a gap right in there, and you got a gap right in there. So keep your eye on that. You do got that solid support, like I just said, 0.0079, 0.0065, and, of course, all your moving averages. And then whenever you got going on a daily like this, I like to just watch those last candles and make sure they don't close below them, because you can look back in the past when that happens on a run. Look back in February. When it starts breaking down below the last big candle swing highs, she's done. So that's the way I'm looking at this chart.
Nice. And where did STT Radio call the 10-bagger at on that? Can you do that stuff too on this thing? Wow. Wow.
Kaboom. 100.
That is awesome.
All right. Now, let's move on to our next one. Great job there, Siffy. And I will get you a new computer ASAP. All right. Let's see. We're up to SKAS. SKAS, COP.
All right, SKAS. You guys are going to actually like this one a lot. All right, the SKAS, which is Sacker Aviation Services, Inc. This one actually might blow you guys away a little bit here, because I haven't actually seen this to this degree. So I kind of want to point up some stuff to you. All right, and this one is Sacker Aviation Services, Inc. Basically, it's an aviation company. They do a couple different things. The share structure has been very close to the same for a very long time. Outstanding shares are 33 million and 40,000, right around there. They recently, over the course of the last, I'd say the last year, have expanding in two separate directions. It's private charter services, aviation and helicopter, and AVP aircraft maintenance, right? CEO is Ronald Riccardi. Now, what I want to do is I want to this is a perfect situation of a company that either has never used investor awareness or just doesn't do that side of the house. However, from an operational standpoint of everything they're doing to make a company, they have completely done that, and it's absolutely nuts. So I kind of want to give you an idea of what happened here. In late November of 2008, the downtown Manhattan heliport was returned to the city of New York. Okay, that was a key catalyst that happened for this company. And their operator on behalf of the New York City is, you guessed it, Sacker Aviation, right? So they get the heliport and all that other type of stuff. And essentially, I'm going to read something to you here real quick, and you guys go with this. All right, they announced financial results for the year ending December 31st, and this was actually just done on March 27th, 2012. So this is why it looks like a couple people are piquing interest. Revenue rises 33.2%. You guys ready for this number? $16.1 million in revenue. Pre-tax income of $1,104,000 in 2011 compared to $963,000 in 2010. So they're making bucks. Basically, it's out of Wilkes-Barre, PA, Scranton. Sacker Aviation Services, SKAS, an aviation service company specialized in ground-based services to general aviation marketplace, today announced its financial results for the year ending December 31st, 2011. Revenue increased to 32.2%, approximately $16 million for the $16,889,000 for the year ending December 31st, compared with the corresponding year, the year prior, was approximately $12 million. They had an increase of $4 million in revenue. The primary driver of the increase was the revenue associated with the operation of the downtown Manhattan heliport, which increased by 40% to approximately $9,400,000 in increased revenue. So it goes through, talks about all that, pre-tax income for the year, being what that is. Net income for the 12-month period ending December 31st, 2011, 2010 was approximately $404,000 and $1,473,000 respectively. So basically, they're extremely pleased to post their second consecutive year of increased revenue and sustained profitability, stated the CEO. The heliport continues outstanding performance, and our traditional FBOs show indications of rebounding from the macroeconomic market conditions in the past few years. Fuel is an important portion of our revenue. At the heliport, a full year of fuel sales has a significant impact on year-over-year revenues. But it's also important to note that the revenues at the heliport was up across all business metrics, all. The traditional FBOs experienced overall fuel volume growth the first time in a couple of years, so that's pretty big, showing that, in that area it's drastically improving. Now, the other thing I kind of want to get into, and I'm limited on time, is EBITDA. Okay, EBITDA. Now, what that basically is this is, for you accounting guys out there in GAAP and non-GAAP, it's earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. So it's EBITDA. And basically, it's capital structure neutral, if you kind of wanted to know what that is. Now, most companies, big companies, they use a PE ratio, which is, your price over earnings ratio. That gives you the, you're able to determine, the fair market value of the company, essentially. So why am I talking about that? Because they're putting it in there. They're putting their EBITDA inside what they're saying. And when you go through there and you're going to start looking at a whole bunch of things, and, the non-GAAP financial measure, where the money's coming from, and what they did on this press release. Now, that's very, very strange for a company of this size to do, okay, in the OTC world. So it kind of it perks up. It's like, why would they do that? Why would they be concentrated on that? And I'm going to tell you why. The only reason to start doing that type of stuff is because you don't plan on being down at this level very long. Now, I don't know that, and I'm using pure speculation on that, but I know this type of stuff is extremely expensive and extremely time-consuming to do, and they're doing it. So I highly recommend taking a look at that and going in and seeing what you're seeing there. But if you look at their share structure, and they're trading at 7 cents and only had 1 million in volume. I've already gone through, in the very beginning of this, 2 companies that hardly were making revenue, and this company's making $16 million in revenue, and they're trading under that. I find that extremely odd. I mean, it's a very finical world out there in the OTC, but I think some people are invested in the wrong stock, just saying. But that's it for SKAS. How about if we jump over the chart?
Sure, I'll rock this one out. SKAS, looking at a solid level of support at 6 cents. This thing bounced off of the 6 cent range in December and ran as high as 10.75 here recently, just in March. Notice it's pretty thinly traded. It had a sell-off after it made that run from December to March, and we're back at that support level of 6 cents. You look at the RSI, and it's just flatline at 35. It's in the oversold territory, so it's really attractive as far as the RSI standpoint, because how long can it last down here in the oversold territory? I don't know. The PPO's hooking up, it's crossing, or getting ready to cross rather. The lines are converging and they're pinching, getting ready for a cross. So that's a good sign. You got the histogram, those blue bars that are just ready to flip over and go positive. And recently the slow stow bounced off of being oversold, and that looks like it wants to go north. So I like the look of it as a bottom play. If it can hold this support level here at 6 cents, that'd be a good sign. If it can get above the 20-day moving average and get above that's at 0.76, that'll be a good sign. So we'll be looking at those moving averages as key resistance level. 0.76 is where the 20-day is. 084 is where the 200-day is. And then you got the 50-day at 087.
All right. Very well done. Okay, guys. Cop, I'm going to give you a little break here.
All right.
I have a caller.
All right.
We're going to take the caller, see what he has to say. Caller, you're on the air. Caller? Caller, last chance. Caller. Wonderful. Wonderful caller there. All righty.
You lost the caller?
Well, no, he's still on. He never spoke. Never said a word. Never said the word. Okay, let's move on because we got not a lot of time and a lot to do. Next ticker, MLHC. MLHC, cop.
All right, so I got to speed it up is what you're telling me, huh?
Yes, pick up the
okay,
pace.
MLHC is M-Line Holding Inc. And essentially, basically what you got there is you got a company that's trading. Here, let me give you that real quick. All right, it's at 0.06 is what it's trading at. And recently, there's a whole bunch of things that kind of been happening with this. This is a very interesting company from the aspect of what they're getting ready to do. So let me jump over to OTCmarkets.com, give you share structure. Shares outstanding, 46,871,000. Authorized is 100 million. Now, that last shares outstanding was updated February 14, 2012. The CEO is George Collins, CFO Jim. It's Judo Banker, and a couple other things that you have there. Kabani is their people and their legal counsel and all that. All right, so you go over to the news. I'm jumping there. February 15th, they announced the results for the 6 months ending December 31st. So it talks about the different things with Tustin, California. Where are you getting these stocks from, by the way?
I got them off our board. They were posted by our board members, and I took them in order that they came in, and that's what we got.
These are no joke companies that we've talked up till now. So
I apologize. I
no, it's good.
Do this ever again. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's cancel radio.
What I'm talking about is no joke in the sense that they're very good companies.
I know they are. That's why I gave them to you.
The net sales on this one for that period were $5,200,000 with a cost of sales of $3,605,000. So gross profit was $1,600,000. So you look at the operating expense. So from financial aspect of this, and the way the average common shares and all those type of stuff, you're talking, very, very solid foundational type stuff that's going there. But again, it's another company that, hasn't done awareness, not a lot of people talking about it in the sense of from that aspect. And what I recommend with this one is go to the iBox, check out the different things. It's the mineholdings.com and minecap.com, and you'll be able to see a lot of different things of exactly what they're doing. It's the company announces that it has released its financials and all that other type of stuff. But about us, it traces its roots in December 2011 when EM Tool Company and Elite Machine Tool reserved into public shell. The resulting public entity, Gateway International Holdings, owned one subsidiary, Elite Machine. The capabilities of M-Line Holding Inc. subsidiaries together provide a broad range of precision engineering, manufacturing, and assembly services, as well as one of the largest pre-owned sellers of CNC equipment throughout the United States. Very big player, and kind of cover over the management, but a lot of different aspects of this company are very, very solid. And I mean, this is real businesses that are doing a lot of the right things. But what I recommend is go to the website, dig into this one, look at the different stuff. Let's go ahead and pull up the chart real quick, and we'll talk about that, and I'll show you what I'm seeing.
I think Sippy's doing this one. Sippy, you up?
Yep.
All right.
Okay, so I went ahead and pulled up a weekly because the daily wasn't really showing me enough to give it a chart reading. And you pull up the weekly, and sometimes that's what you got to do on these. The daily, you look at it and you go, this chart's telling me nothing. So pull up that weekly, look back in the past a little. And first thing I want to see is you get yourself a little bit of a positive divergence going on here. You can see that's going back to 2011. Things started coming up, and you can see that across the board, even on your PPO. You can see that on your slow stow. It's not a big positive divergence, but it's definitely happening. As for the RSI, you can see that you've got some negative divergence. You can see that top back in January, June, July, and it's been hanging down there, and it hasn't got above that 50 for a while. So that's going to be key on a weekly, and you're at 47.81. As for coming down since that point 21 cent, you can see a steady downcline, and that's coming to a head, guys. So again, we got ourselves a nice little wedge forming here. Whenever you see a wedge, it's about ready to move. Volatility's coming. It ain't going to stick in that little triangle for long. And you can see that this triangle has gone from 21 cents all the way down to a penny over the last year. So a wide range. I do like that you've seen some volume coming in here. I'd like to see it pick back up and continue up. Want to get above that 20-day moving average at 0.0586. And once that happens, like we've seen on many charts here, we want to get through that 50 at 0.0859. Take into consideration those will be moving, guys, as the tape moves. And then once that happens, if it does happen, we want to see that 20 cross through that 50 and get both those MAs below the price per share, and that's how you get a runner.
Very, very nice. Okay. Now, we have another caller. Why does this always happen on days when we're running short on time? Let's take this caller and see if we get more than feedback this time. Here we go. Pushing the button right now.
There, so.
Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, good afternoon. Man, I'll tell you what, that SKAS, Saker Airlines, and man, that MLHC, the guy who ever found that must be a genius when he found Sakers at $1.5 million, and MLHC turning the corner on profit this year with Boeing contracts for a 767 and 777 jets back ordered. So looking at 3 to 5 cent EPS there this year on the MLHC. Saker Airlines 3 years ago had a buyout of another airline in Kansas, and mysteriously $1 million was missing on their report ahead of the buyout. And if you notice this year, the cash has gone from $1.4 million the end of 2011 to $400,000 this year. Makes me wonder who they're buying right now. So, hey, great job, you guys.
Angel, I love it when you call in, man. This is awesome.
Yep, those are just two of the type
there.
I look for, just like the Dynaventure. So.
Yep, fantastic stuff there.
Yeah, those revenues are off the charts a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you, Saker Airlines, 10 minutes went from 3 cents to 18 cents the first time I announced it, and everybody got scared and started selling. It could have easily hit 50 cents in an hour if people would have realized what was there. MLHC has already seen 44 cents from a 3 cent call there, and easily we'll see that again too. We had a little bit of resistance upward. It's been a tough 2 years, and people were afraid to stay in long-term stocks, but both of those were excellent picks because they are doing business properly, and that's what you need to find when we have a bad economy. So.
Absolutely. That's what amazed me about when we were doing the DD on them there, Allie Angel. I mean, when you were sitting there and you're looking at it, is there's like no awareness out there at all. People don't know about these companies.
Well, that's what I look for. I spend hours and hours. I got a list of 15 from 2 o'clock till 6 o'clock this morning, and I'm still going strong. So you will be seeing 1 or 2 more. Heck, I got one sitting in front of me right now that has a market cap of $5,000, and it's an OTC DD stock.
Save it for the morning show. Call back in the morning.
Oh, I've got the morning show. I'm set on MRIB this week and BCLE. We've got some fire getting ready to happen. BCLE is catching up their filings now to become current on Pinks with a new CEO there and a new company and everything. So MRIB is just running. So.
Hey, while you're here, let's talk about that. You okay with that, Mike? We'll do both charts at the same time, but while I have them here with BCLE.
Good.
as you know, I've been involved in this company. I don't own it anymore, but I used to own. This is one of a stock that I used to trade big time back in the day.
You and I both.
Yep. And I mean, that was what, 3 years ago, maybe 4.
Yes,
that was
sir.
a while ago. Yeah.
Been on my watch list ever since.
Yep. And they filed that annual report, the one ending for December 30th, 2011. Did you see that whole thing?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I read it. I love reports.
All right. Well, this thing's like 50 pages long, and I started digging into the different aspects of what's going on here. Now, I do know this. They got to get that website fixed. But this company is coming back to life. I did not realize that their share structure was that low now.
Yes, sir. It's coming back to life. They've switched the CEO around. They've realigned. The main reason is because in a downtime, you cannot sell ideas. You have to sell strong fins. That's why my concentration's been on ones like MLHC and SCAs. Now I'm moving more toward the ones that I see an excellent idea, like you were seeing in the PVSP. I've been looking at that since 2010 when I read the S13G there. And it wasn't the timing. You are not going to get people to go out on a limb for ideas in a bad economy. But, the ones that invest and look at strong fins and great handling of shareholders' assets, like the other two we talked about, that is what you need to find in a down economy. So, I mean, they screened out of it. So.
I want to tidbit one thing. Authorized shares 500 million, and the common shares is 181 million. That market cap is extremely low.
And on top of it, those shares have not changed since we were playing with it a couple years ago. So they have not diluted it. They still have their business plan strong. They just knew that it was a bad time, and now they can see that the capital's out there to get that company moving. We're looking at they worked over last weekend and did the filings on Saturday and Sunday, and I look for more filings this week to bring them all current. So the first step is to get that done, get a letter in from the attorney, bring it back current on Pinks, and we've already had the announcement of the new CEO, and then from there I have a feeling they need a strong IR firm and maybe a couple radio spots. So.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. Have them call us. We'll have them call us. All right, there, Allie Angel. We got to get rolling on to the next.
I just want to get a quick feedback from Allie. Allie, have you been watching the charts at all?
Oh yes, sir. I always look at the charts. I'm more of a
No. I'm talking about tonight's show. I'm talking about on tonight's show.
Oh yes, I'm sitting here watching it on a separate screen as you're doing it, and it's showing up excellent. I love it.
Okay, great. All right, that's what we needed to find out. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. You guys have a great evening. I hope I brought a couple people.
Yep, you did. I want to give a big shout-out to Stock Tamers chat room. They're all here. Miles, not leaving out of the show. StockTamer.com. For those
what they need to do is they need to get a commercial over to us.
Commercial, Stock Tamer.
He should be listening.
And Tamer's got skill. He could probably do that in like 20 minutes.
Welcome to come on the show. Just give us a holler.
All right. I'll let him know, too, in chat. So,
all right.
Y'all have a great evening.
You too. Take care. Okay, here. Listen, we're not going to get to all the tickers tonight that were given to us, unfortunately.
All right.
What do we need to do a chart on right now? BCLE?
Correct.
All right. Siffy, you want to do that chart on BCLE? Siffy?
Sure.
There you go.
Sounds good. And the chart is up on BCLE. All right, this chart is, I'm going with a weekly on this one, too, just because I like the way it looks. And you can see going all the way back to in 2010s, you've been on a steady downtrend, and it looks like we're trying to break out here. So we'll see. We have seen many times in the past with this stock. I know nothing about it fundamentally, but you can see every time it's hit that 50 and kind of get through it, it stayed below that 20. And I'm squaring out all the times that it did it. You got above it one time here where you held it. You had 2011 from about May till about August, and then she broke back below that 50 and that 20, and she was done. Well, now you're back above that 20, and you did cross above through the 50, and you actually held it through a close, so that's looking good. You've got that 200 MA all the way up there at 0.0154. So let's see some action. You got that big volume that came in on Friday. You also saw that back in 2011 in August, September, and then it just died. So let's not see that again, guys. And like I said, just watch those moving averages. When they break, they're done. As for your RSI, I do like this because you've got yourself a nice positive version setting up this whole time. You can see that. And you've also broken above that 50, which is key, or 56.95. I want to see that hold. As for your PPO, same thing. You got a positive version going all the way back to 2010. I want to see that get up above that positive, and the histogram has already done it, so that's looking good. As for your your slow stow, it's set on that 50. It needs to hold it, and that would be good. Very positive to hold that 50, bounce back to the north, and head towards that 80. So you're looking solid there. Let's get that PPO up into the positive. Let's hold that RSI above that 56, and let's see that price per share get through that 50 with some authority, and let's get that 20 through that 50, and let's get off to the races and head towards that 200. How about that?
Fantastic there, Seth. Fantastic. Right. Okay. Now, we jumped ahead. Do we want to jump back, or do we want to move forward? Cop?
On which part?
On the tickers. What are you ready for?
I can do them all. I think MRIB is definitely one we should do.
All right, good. Go do MRIB.
Okay, the MRIB, the thing, we did a spotlight on this stock, maybe a month ago. And believe it or not, the spotlight wasn't that good in the sense that dead company coming to life at the same time where Asher needed to rotate a couple of things, if I remember correctly, how that worked. All right, well, when you look back on the whole thing, I think we were wrong on that. I'm going to give you a little tidbit of what's actually happening here. Marini Brands, Inc. basically does a lot of things with vodka and all that other stuff, drinks. The company just died. And, share structure-wise, I'm going to go to company information on otcmarkets.com. It's a caveat emptor. Shares outstanding, 170 million as of March 24th, 2010. Okay? And authorized shares, 300 million as of March 31st, 2008. All right. So, it gives all those indicators. All right. Somehow it's coming back to life. All right. It was dormant for a while, and due to a lack of financing. And in 2012, there's starting to be some big developments taking place here. Financing is coming in on 14th of February. They did a 13G/alpha was filed showing up a big financial institution. GAM Holding has increased their position in MRIB to become 20% of the 170 million OS. So you can check out that stuff. MRIB was also reinstated recently, and a new resident agent is recorded with the Nevada SOS with no amendments to change the current share structure. With the OS, MRIB has traded in the range of 40 cents 2 years ago on speculation only. Now that the company is back to life, production and distribution, MRIB is not necessarily speculation anymore, but a confirmed global presence. It could be. A lot of good people are starting to run to this stock, and I think what they're doing is they're laying low and starting to eat this thing a little bit. So, when you look at the insider ownership of it being 55%, leaving 90 million in the float, I think you have a very early runner potential that's going to happen here. So I would definitely take a look at this.
All right, Siffy. Charters, please, sir.
I'm going to run with this one.
Oh, okay.
Looks like it's had a nice spike at the end of the year last year in November. Had some heavy volume, and it made a nice run up from sub-penny. It was trading looks like 0011. It ran as high as 0054. Then it had a big downtrend, found a solid level of support at that 0001, and it's been running and consolidating since then. It made the move all the way from 0001 up to 0018, and when it made that move, it looked like the 20-day moving average bottomed out when it was trading at the 0001, and since then the 20-day moving average made a nice run up. It crossed through the 50-day moving average midway through February, and you saw that breakout ensue after that. The stock went from 0003, 0004 all the way on up to 0018, and at that point it looked like the 20-day wanted to get above that 200-day, but it just didn't make it cross that 200-day, so the 20-day then consolidated back down, and now the 20-day is starting to curl back up, and it looks like it wants to move north. 20 sitting at 0005, you got the 50-day sitting at 0007. Both of them are starting to point north, starting to move up toward the 200-day. So eventually you could possibly see a golden cross there. When those moving averages cross above that 200-day, that'll be a really nice sign. The 200-day sitting at 999. You got the volume that's been pretty steady and consistent throughout the month of March and April. And if you notice, the RSI hasn't really fallen below 40. It's been bouncing off of this oversold area, and it got above 50 here again. It's at 55.99, so the RSI is at a good spot. And you got the PPO starting to diverge. The lines look like they want to separate. It looked like they wanted to cross to the downside, but then it bounced, and they're starting to separate again. And meanwhile, the histogram bars are starting to move up. What I like about the slow stow is that's pointing north. I'd like to see those lines both get above 50 and stay above 50 and keep moving north. They're pointing directly north, so that's looking good. All in all, I like the chart setup a lot on this McRib. That's what I call it, McRib. It's easy to remember it that way.
McRib is back, huh? The McRib is back. Fantastic. Okay, well, we missed two tickers tonight. We're not going to get to them. Those were AX, LX, and AGIJ. We will try and get to them this week. Tomorrow night's show, don't forget, we have a interview with Mr. Reed of KMAG. That's going to start at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night. Tuesday night, we have yet another CEO interview lined up. Can't give out the ticker. Sorry. Wednesday night, yet another CEO interview. Can't give out the ticker. Thursday night, another CEO interview. Can't give out the ticker. Not allowed. Not allowed. Not allowed. Don't forget, catch the morning show, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday through Friday, starring Stock Sumo and Haas. What? You're asking. You're saying what? I forgot somebody. No, I didn't. Siffy will no longer be on the morning show. We will have more information on that in the upcoming days for you. Is that correct, Siffikia?
That's what the memo said.
That's what the memo said. So it will be strictly Stock Sumo and Haas in the mornings. Occasional special guest, me. Occasional special guest, Cop. But for the most part, Haas and Stock Sumo will be running the morning show. Now, we have a special guest with us tonight that wanted to come on the show, and we leave this as an open window for anybody out there, as long as you have the backing, to come on and talk about a ticker that you're interested in. Tonight we have Howard Halftel with us, and he's going to talk about a ticker symbol, EEGC. Howard, you with us?
Yeah, can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
All right, so the microphone and the radio station is yours.
Very good. Something about EEGC that most people aren't aware of. It's been around for many, many, many years. And they spent over $50 million trying to prove out the oil reserves and where they are, locate them all, and then when they've got it all mapped out, come in with drill rigs and do all the drilling at once. It would save them a lot of money, and it would make everybody happier. The problem here is they entered into a time where the world was in a financial crisis and they could not raise money. Nobody is going to lend millions and millions of dollars to a company that has no success under their belt. They spent over $50 million doing all of this seismic research, and they've got maps and graphs of about 17 to 18 different domes, the biggest of which is one called Bellevue. It's about 4,000-foot elevation, and it is a massive amount of oil that the seismic activity has shown. This I have in front of me a report by RPS Energy that states that they would have to drill 360 vertical wells just in that Bellevue stump to drain it, averaging 40 acres per well. So, I mean, you're looking at a massive amount of oil. Now, the assumption was at that time that it was a very low chance of hitting oil. That's not true. The report by RPS put out was on antiquated information. And they're doing a new survey, or that's in process if it has not been done already. And they anticipate that the chances of striking oil, and this is conservative, at Bellevue is 24%. And I believe that is really conservative. Now, there's another one, another dome called Thunderbolt, and they anticipate it would take 74 vertical wells to drain that, using 40 acres per well. I would say that the report should be published pretty soon. I understand that there's some press releases due out very shortly. The chairman of the board, Malcolm Bendall, has been sick with the flu and was out all last week, so everything came to a standstill. But I expect we should see some news this week, and everybody's going to be very happy. This company is the kind of company that you want to buy and put in your portfolio and just forget about it, because it will send your kids to college, it'll pay for their wedding, it'll do a lot of things that you never anticipated would ever happen in your life. This is better than a gold mine. They're into all different kinds of things. One is, of course, oil, natural gas. They have this Fraser technology which is being developed. They are now doing coal. I understand the funding is coming from Korea, and it's initially going to be, let's see, $100,000 was already paid, $9.9 million is due and probably has already been received, and follow on after that another $40 million. They also have seismic activity in the makings to check out areas that have not been explored yet. This thing is going to be a phenomenal investment if it comes through. This is a big if. If they hit oil, forget about it. You will be so rich, you don't need that many shares to be rich either. They have 420 million shares outstanding, 600 million authorized. If you figure out, based on 1 billion barrels of oil, that would be 2.38 barrels per share. Now, nobody knows what the barrels are going to trade for at the time they hit it, but I'm using a figure of $100 a barrel. At $100 a barrel, the reason why Tasmania wants this is because they get 12% right off the top. 12% of a billion barrels of oil at $100 a barrel, that's $100 billion. They get $12 billion. That can restore the economy of Tasmania real fast. They have a lot of layoffs, a lot of people unemployed there. And this will require all kinds of peripheral jobs, hotel being refurbished, transportation to and from the drill sites, hot meals, and of course, supplies for the drillers and whatever they require. I mean, the amount of things that are going to be developed, plus don't forget the homes for some of these people that are going to be permanent residents there, they're going to have to be constructed. So this is going to be a refurbishing of the entire economy, not just EEGC alone. This is why everybody should be buying this thing, because the government is behind it. The company is pretty sure of success, and they've got so many different things going now. They are now in Africa. They're now in Kentucky for coal. They have something going on with this Fraser technology in Canada, and the people in Canada, in their development of this equipment, they have discovered a possible medical use I don't know what that's all about, but that alone is going to be worth a fortune, not only in money but in public relations. Excuse me. The amount of barrels of oil that's conceived to be found in Bellevue, I heard from an old friend of mine who is now deceased, Mark Calloway, who was involved in the Shell exploration. He was the accountant for them, and he saw the results. He compared their results with the seismic research that we had, and he says they had 39 billion barrels they discovered, and he says ours is bigger. Now, he didn't go into detail, but that's what he said. Excuse me. If you figure out that they have just the 40 billion barrels, like he's saying, my God, how much money can you make? The shares are a penny and a half to 2 cents a share. For very little money, you could pick up 10 or 20,000 shares and be worth a fortune. So that's what I would say what we should be doing. Stashing this stock away, don't trade it, and just live on everything else that you're doing. This is a penny stock. It's an over-the-counter stock, and it's just a dandy investment. Now, I understand that EEGC has approached Hunt Drilling for their number 3 rig, and that rig will drill to 3,000 meters, which is 9,842 feet. That's deep. But they have another drill rig that they're buying new. It's a model 1100, and it's coming from Oklahoma. They have not taken possession of that yet, and it's predicated on whether or not they hit oil or not, because that rig is going to cost them, by the time they're done, about $5-6 million. And that will go to 15,000 feet. Mm. They also have a ship that they rigged to do seismic activity offshore. Now, seismic activity is very fast and cheap to do on water. It's very expensive and very slow to do it on land. So they can go and do a lot of seismic activity very quickly over the seas. The only problem is it's far more costly to pull the oil out of the water because you need platforms and all kinds of special rigging. So the first thing to accomplish is land. Now, they have about 17 domes that they recognized, of which only 2 are now under this license that's due to expire. I think it's May 16th or 17th, I'm not sure. And I'm pretty sure that they can renegotiate that, and that's in the process. Along with that, if they hit oil, they will get a new lease for the domes that were not given to them or not renewed in the past. Now, here's a funny story about that. One of the domes that they surrendered was given to another party whose name I shall not mention, and it was just north of, hang on one sec, Bellevue. It was just north of Bellevue. They came in there, and the guy raised $10 million through partners out of London, and they brought in the Hunt 3 rig, and they drilled. And they hit dust. Why did they hit dust? Because they didn't have the seismic information that Malcolm had. So how did they find out where to drill? You're going to love this. They hired a guy with a divining rod to locate the oil. And of course they hit dust. This is people are so desperate to make money in this thing. Everybody wants a piece of the action. They want Malcolm out so that they can take over GSLM, which is the wholly owned subdivision of EEGC. And then they can go in and go after all of this oil. I think Shell is behind some of this. There's a lot of bashers in there that will do anything that they can to get rid of Malcolm. I won't mention their names either, but there's a lot of them there. And when these guys show up, you know there's value. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here because they don't own stock. So on and on it goes. This is the kind of stock you want to buy 10, 20, 30,000 shares and just tuck it away. If you got kids, their future is assured if, and I say if, they hit oil. So that's really the whole story. I don't know how much time you got left, but I can tell you that the Bronte Park Hotel is being rejuvenated, and that's for the workers to live in. And there's transportation being set up to bring the drillers and workers back and forth to the sites. Plus, there's, they need recreation. They need all kinds of other things. And there's hot meals are going to be prepared and brought to the site, too. So all of this stuff requires people. It requires resources. It requires devotion. And I got to tell you, as far as devotion goes, this guy, Malcolm Bendall, he should be on a pedestal. He is literally given up his own personal fortune to pursue this. And he has a staff of unbelievable personnel. They're just the most talented people in their fields that you can ever find. And they really are holding this company together and doing all the work. So I think that the company has in its future coal, natural gas, Fraser technology. They're in Africa, and they're in Kentucky coal, plus whatever else they can come up with. And the amount of money that will go to the state of Tasmania will be at least 12%, plus I believe there's an income tax there too. So it's just phenomenal. And we're talking about on 3.3 billion barrels, the stock should be at $185 a share.
Wow.
And on 30 billion, forget it. I mean, we're in the thousands already. So that's really the whole story. I mean, I could go on, but it's just going to be repetitive.
Yep, that was very, very well done. Very well done.
So, that's the story, and I think you're going to find out that as things progress, you will find much more information available, and I hopefully will see a lot more information available this coming week. That's about it, fellas. That's all I got to say.
Fantastic, Howard. Great job.
Thanks, Howard. Really good.
Appreciate it.
All righty. No problem. Anytime. Okay. Now, I'm already getting feedback from the Civic Kia firing of the morning show.
Oh, you're going to have to release the hounds.
Okay. Here's the scoop on Civic Kia not being on the morning show anymore. I don't know how to approach this because I didn't talk to Siffy. Siffy, jump on here with me.
You got it, boss. Roll with it.
Okay. Siffy will be doing his own video show, as you saw tonight, with charts and so forth. Instead, he's going to be showing you his option trading. He has advised us here at Stock Traders Talk Radio that options, the hot time is when the bell rings. Is that correct? Am I correct so far? Siffy, help me out here. Siffy.
El correcto.
Okay. So he will start his video stream at approximately 9:25 a.m. You can go to that page we were at tonight, okay, and watch him trade. He'll be talking through that stream, so you listen right there. You can watch him trade. If you would like, hit him up in Skype. That's where he'll be taking the questions from. He's going to form his own room in Skype and take questions and try and do his best to answer them there in Skype. You want to give out your Skype ID, or you don't want to give out your Skype ID?
Yeah, it's CIFIKEA, see if I care. Same as always. Also, once I get that room set up, guys, you can private message me in iHub. And I also will be keeping an eye on our board. A lot of the peeps that will be joining us, I'm already hooked up with them on Skype, so I'll be sending you a private message, boys, girls. But, yeah, like we said, this is just getting going, beta. I just got the programs. I'm working it. We'll get it going, though, guys. It's all about those multi-baggers, right?
Yeah, he's working on Platform 2, and we're on platform 6 actually. But we will get him updated as soon as possible so he can do some fantastic stuff. We've done a lot of testing with this video. We're looking forward to it. Hopefully everything tonight went well. I was watching. I thought it looked pretty good.
HD is fantastic.
Yeah, and, we're just trying to take it to the next level for all the investors out there. So that's how this is going to work. Siffy's going to come on at 9:25. He'll stay on for as long as things are happening. How long do you anticipate to be on?
Power hour, first hour of trading, and, we'll be focusing on options. But, hey, guys, by all means, I'm just a trader. So whatever you got, bring it. But we will be focusing on options because that's where I make my bread and butter.
Okay. So that would be basically an option show. Are you going to do the 3 to 4 o'clock hour or no?
Probably not right away, but we will move to that once we get more peeps in there, no doubt.
Okay. All right. So he's going to start off with the mornings from 9:25 to approximately 10:30. Again, he'll be talking strictly options. I want you to stay with options because we also air a show about penny stocks at the same time. So you will take the option people, please. And that's where we're going to move to next. So hopefully that all works out well in the morning. We'll see. Anything else I should add to that or no?
No, I mean that's a pretty jam-packed night.
Well, you're not going to believe this. We're getting requests for a midday show and a closing show, plus our 8 o'clock show.
We'll get there soon.
And I've been telling everybody we're working on all of this. So hopefully over the next, I would say, month, you'll see all these changes come into play. All right. From all of us here at Stock Traders Talk Radio to all of you out there in Stock Traders Talk listening land, we're wishing you the best on all your trades, and may your portfolios always be green. I want to thank, once again, the Stock Tamer chat room. That's a double plug on the STT radio show. Double plug, cop.
Don't forget the iHub Felon chat.
iHub Felon chat. What is okay.
Yeah. It's the Roger Wilco and crew.
Oh, yes. And the Waveboard over at iHub.
Yeah, they're doing great stuff.
Good stuff. Don't forget, hey, guys, you know what? Just a little side note, just between me and the listeners, I run this show, okay? Follow me at iHub. Hit me with a board mark. Let me catch up to Pacific here. I'm begging. Please.
That was the easiest contest I've ever won in my life, Cop.
Oh, my God, it's so sad. Come on, guys. Hit me up. STT. Damn it. Run this damn show.
That's because you're the one doing all the work in the background. No one's seeing you out in the front.
Oh, my God. It's embarrassing.
They don't realize you actually pull the strings. That's awesome.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, I begged enough. If you hit me up, great. If not, oh, well. You'll never come on my show. That's the way I'm going to work it from here on out. All right. Don't forget, catch the morning guys at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Haas and Stock Sumo calling out all those big plays. And catch the beta testing if you're an options player. I'm sure the person that hit us up on the board 2 minutes after I announce it will be happy to hear this. If you're an options player, you can watch Siffy trade live at StockTradersTalk.com/live-Siffy. And we will post that on the board. And if I feel like it tonight, maybe I'll put a link on the actual. We'll see. Brian, where are you? Damn it. All right, guys. Good show. Great job. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll be back tomorrow night with K-Mag, CEO interview at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Stock Traders Talk Radio, and we are out.
Aloha. See you in the morning.
Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio. All views and topics talked about on Stock Traders Talk Radio is solely for entertainment purposes. We are not professional financial advisors and always recommend you seek the advice of a professional financial advisor. Never invest in any stock featured on our show unless you can afford to lose your entire investment. The information contained on our show is based on sources which we believe to be reliable, but is not guaranteed by us as being accurate.
and might not be a complete statement or summary of the available data. Stock Traders Talk Radio advises that the investments in companies profiled are commonly considered to be high risk, and use of the information provided is at the investor's sole risk. Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio.